Hi there, Glenn Wallace here with the Rockett Iq Compressor. It's a compressor with an EQ on it, and perhaps they called it the IQ because it has the EQ, but I like to imagine it's the initials for a device I just made up called the IntelliQuizer, which would be fantastic to use on people. Say when you're at a show and the music's great and then the lead singer goes off on some 10-minute political rant, and in the middle of it you could just hit this and they would shut up and keep playing the song because no one wants to hear that stuff, right? Okay. So moving on, very similar to the Rockaway Archer, two controls. Instead of drive, you have mix this time, but still in level control, and then the same values on the EQ. I have them written down here because I can't memorize them. From left to right, it is 100 Hertz, 200 Hertz, 400 Hertz, 800 Hertz, 1.5K, and 3.2K. And it's good to know what those values mean, but once again, I would encourage people to just move sliders around and see what you like. So I'll jump right in here. I'm going to knock the compression all the way down and just let you hear the volume. So here's my dry signal. I'm playing my Nash T63 into a Fender Deluxe Reverb mic with an Audix i5. The amp is on about 3 right now on the vintage channel. So you can cut the signal down quite a bit, or you can push it up quite a bit. Let's go back here. All right, now checking out the mix knob. So I was going to do a comparison video between this and the Boss CP1X, which is the compressor that I use on my board now. However, they are very different. You cannot control the ratio of compression, you cannot control the attack, anything like that. It seems to be set, and then you simply blend that signal in. It's very similar to a Dynacomp. This is a very squishy compressor to me. So I have it set all the way back. Here it is dry again. I think even with the mix knob all the way down, you can still hear a little bit of compression in there. I'll start blending it in now. Here it is dry again. And with the compression all the way up, you can really hear how it makes the high strings sing a bit more. Really good for country bends, obviously. Super, super squishy. A Couldn't really find a good live use for this guy. I used it, it's a lot better when you're recording because, you know, of the EQ, you can do a lot of stuff with it. It's a post-compression EQ. So that is nice. One of the things, you know, with compression, it's such a mystery effect for some. A lot of us spend a lot of time finding out if we even like compression or if we even need it. I do recommend it a little bit if you play on single coils, especially if you do country. It just helps these treble strings sing a little bit more. But one of the fun parts about this is that you can bring back frequencies that you may feel have gotten too squished. So, for instance, one of my preferred settings, I like to bump these guys up a little bit and then a little bit of bass. So here's the dry tone. And then let me bump them back down so you can hear the difference there. See, the compression, even, I've got it here, you know, around 10 o'clock, and it really crushes everything quite a bit, which I don't particularly like. I do like a little bit of mids in my signals, so I like to punch them up a little bit of highs to cut through, and then just punch this, what is it, the 100 hertz one up a little bit to give me a little bit of bass. And there I'm getting the compression that's helping my higher strings sing a little bit more. It's also taming any shrillness, but it's bringing back some of the frequencies that got a little too squished like that. So that is how I like to use it. Just a couple more things, because there's really not too much more to go on this. How it would sound before and after gain and with a clean boost. So I'm going to take my preferred setting, and I'm going to have it before a gain pedal, or actually, I'm sorry, after a gain pedal. So I've got a J Rockett Archer here. Now I'm not going to use the same gain pedal because I just don't feel like rewiring stuff because I'm lazy. But you should be able to get an idea. So here is the dry tone. Here's the J Rockett Archer. All right, and then here's the IQ compressor after it. Now, I don't really like that, honestly. If you duck the compression all the way down, you can use it as a post-gain EQ, and that's fun. You know, here's without it. With it. You can do, you know, fun stuff to it, like scoop it. Or you can do what I call the frown, which is how I heard Kerry King from Slayer describe how they EQ'd their tone. He said, "A scoop makes a smile. Does Slayer sound like we smile?" Or something like that. It was very funny. So you are kind of getting two pedals in one. You can use it as a compressor, or you can use it as, as an EQ, much like the Rockaway. Last, let me get to my setting that I really like, if I can remember it. So here it is. And now I have it before a BB preamp. So here's the BB preamp by Exotic by itself. I actually kind of like it with the compression low. If you kick it up, it gets pretty noisy. I'm not really a big fan of compression with overdrive. I just, you know, that's why I use very, very light compression. I use it just to kind of catch these two top first and second strings and just make them sing a little more on country bends. One last thing I'll do with it, I do run with a clean boost quite often. I'm usually using my J Rockett Archer, but the way I have everything wired, I'm going to use my Exotic EP booster, which is probably the best one knob pedal ever invented. Here's the dry tone. Here's the EP booster. And then with the IQ compressor. So that sounds pretty cool, and the way I do run a compressor right before my clean boost. I run the Boss CP1X into the Archer, but this will give you an idea of how that sounds if you are getting into compression. So this is a fun pedal. I wouldn't recommend it for live usage unless you have a very specific sound that you're going for. However, in the studio it's great because you can do all sorts of stuff with it. You can get some really, really weird sounds, you know, just using the EQ. You can really get that kind of that actually sounds pretty horrible, but what I'm saying is you can do a whole lot of stuff with the EQ. You can get some weird tones, combining it with different fuzz pedals. You can do a bunch of fun stuff. I've got my Land Devices HP2 here. Now let me punch up some lows and some highs. That's a weird sound, but sometimes when you're doing studio stuff, you want to get weird. You can get weird with this thing because of the EQ. So it's very well built. It's J Rockett. It's an awesome pedal. Check it out. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.